So you just came from reading a book on the internet, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what are all the stocks involved in that?
WordPress.
I wonder if they're traded. You know, we have no internet, so we can't look up anything. Everything's got to be from memory on this app, on this podcast,
boy.
on this app. So WordPress might be a stock.
I don't think it's a stock. Let me look this up.
I don't think you can look that up.
I think I can.
I played Animal Crossing half the day.
Will you bet me the money that I can't look it up?
What?
Will you bet me money that I can't look it up?
No. You're the only one with internet.
Hang on.
Okay. All right. This is a current event. This is also a stock. What do we have? We have Verizon.
We have Charter Spectrum.
And they're out again. So they have terrible internet service. And somebody must have cut a fiber optic cable.
Yes.
Do you think that was one of their employees or somebody digging?
I don't know.
And then my cellular, is Verizon at fault, do you think?
That's Verizon, but I don't think they're at fault. I think this might be user error combined with having a bad location.
As in me, Boomer, being the user?
A little.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone, and
welcome to the Call Girls Investment Club podcast. You can come closer, I think. No, you can. This is my Zoomer, and I'm a Boomer, and we don't have anybody in between, do we?
I am Zoomer. You are Boomer. Go zoom.
Please come closer.
Have you seen that freaking copy pasta?
Boomer! The Zoomer! I am Boomer! No zoom zoomies! Zoomer going zoomies! Ah!
Okay, that's gonna be Zoomer humor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Cringe!
Let's talk about funny memes about the ship. Current events.
You can wear pants and a shirt to look just like the ship.
Oh, that was a funny one. I like the one where they put all the balloons above the ship and said a new idea of how to move the ship, and it looks like that Disney movie with all the balloons lifting the house.
I like the one where the guy took the audio of door stuck and put it over the ship getting stuck, like footage of the ship's route as it gets stuck into the canal.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Cheat on your man, homie. I tried to sneak through the door, man. Can't make it. The shit's stuck. Out of my way, son! Door stuck! Door stuck! Please! I beg you! We're dead! You're genuine.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody knows the ship's blocking the canal. There's nothing else to do but look at this ship.
Is the ship still stuck.com is a website dedicated to telling you if the ship is still stuck in the canal.
And how many minutes, seconds, and hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's current events for sure. Any other current events? We went to Disneyland, but we didn't go to Disneyland. We went to Main Street Disney.
Downtown Disney.
And we had a very interesting discussion about the business of Disney.
Yes.
You said you were in game design class.
I went to DigiPen. I went to a game design class, and my professor told me that Disneyland is basically a restaurant.
And that's so true.
Because
and there's just
all of their profit mostly comes from selling you food. Like that's where the vast majority of their profit comes from.
And it's like a giant themed restaurant.
Yeah. There was special care put into designing it so that whenever you like pick something up to eat, there's always a trash can nearby enough for you to
you told
walk
me.
as you eat and then throw it out. There's like the placement of the restaurants from what I remember, and like the placements of the various food booths are all like carefully calculated.
And of course, if you go up Main Street Disney, that's the entryway to the park, which is free. And it's like all restaurants, shops, ice cream.
Literally, what we went to was the only open part, which is downtown Disney, from what I can understand.
Yeah, there's like another thing that's open, which is inside Disney called the Taste of Disney, where you can, if you have to be a California resident, you have to buy a ticket for $79, and then it's just restaurants inside the park, and you don't go on any rides. They might have shows, but they were running the rides. So,
yeah, so
know what else is genius about Disney? they're selling unique foods. Like they have this corn dog pickle.
Which I think is disgusting, but
it is disgusting, and they
loves
serve it with peanut butter. And the cool thing about that is it's so weird that all the YouTubers have to try it because that gives them something to do, and then everybody's gonna try it.
I don't like this
how much
pickle
was
corn
that
dog
thing?
craze.
It was terrible.
I've got my mask back on. I can't eat it. Sorry.
But it was like, what was it, $10 or something like that? And then of course you buy chips and a drink with it. And it's huge.
Then it's good. No, I refuse.
But it's corn dog they've hollowed out a pickle and they put the hot dog inside the pickle and then they dipped it in the batter and they fried it for real.
Panko breadcrumbs.
Yeah, that was good. The panko breadcrumbs make everything taste good.
Panko breadcrumbs.
I love panko breadcrumbs. No.
So that's a genius idea to try to get a profit.
Right.
And then I heard they're also expanding and they're going to build park in their parking lot. But this I don't understand because their parking lot was always full before. So where are they going to put the cars if they fill the parking lot with more park?
Let me tell you something. I am very proud of my week this week investing. You want to know how it went?
You're a genius.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
here's how it went. On Monday, I bought Johnson & Johnson stock. On Tuesday, I did nothing. On Wednesday, I did nothing. On Thursday, I did nothing. On Friday, I didn't do anything until the very end of the day where I bought more options than Johnson & Johnson.
But you texted me and you said, "Hey, Mom, did you ever buy that Johnson & Johnson stock?" Because you assumed I was in it, right?
I assumed you were in it because you've spent ages telling me, oh, by the way, Johnson & Johnson is the best of the vaccines. Like, this is the only one we should get.
There is so much I learned this week. I went to the doctor. I learned all this deep inside stuff about medical stuff, which is controversial because anytime you put anything on Facebook, they disclaim it. But I found out, I don't know if I'll get in trouble on YouTube for saying it, but I found out there's definitely some incidents with some of the non-Johnson & Johnson shots. I'm going to call them shots, not the V word, because I don't know if that'll get tagged by robots. I've heard stories.
Okay.
So incidents of like mortality and also infertility. And like on the business channel Friday morning, I think this is what triggered the big rise in Johnson & Johnson. On Friday morning, one of the guys on the business channel at 5 a.m. was saying something about how he went, I'm pretty sure this is where I heard this. I don't know who it was that told me. Somebody went to get the shot. They asked the nurse, what was it like when you got your shot? And the nurse said, "Oh, I'm not getting that because I want to have a baby."
Oh my God.
And it's like, they're hushing it up. So the word is obviously spreading. I could have sworn I heard something on the business channel about this. Maybe that was the story I heard on the business channel, but it was Friday morning. But you texted me and I had not bought Johnson & Johnson. When you texted me, I looked and it was just straight up.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find out why, and all the articles, none of them say anything about this. They're hushing it up. But the only article I found was Johnson & Johnson is a great dividend stock. That's why boomers like it and why Zoomers stay far, far away from it. But you bought it, and our friend Dylan said to me, if you ever make $1 million again, put it in a high dividend stock. Duh, I should have done that last time I made $1 million, but it's the obvious choice of what to do is get into dividend stock and then just sit back and have your income. That's the whole point of stocks.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
So Johnson & Johnson, except hopefully I did not steer you wrong convincing you to buy options on Friday.
Well, I only bought some options.
You're mostly in the stock.
Mostly, yeah.
So then every half a year.
I'd say I'm about half options, half stock at this point.
So they'll issue their dividends. So you'll get a check. And they regularly raise their dividends. And they're a well-run company. And I think you did a good thing.
Thank you.
And I'm really grateful that you texted me because I hadn't bought the stock. I had told you all the stuff because I just didn't want you to get that other shot.
Right.
I'm glad I called it a
You
shot.
didn't think to get the stock.
No, it's I've been writing my screenplay and in my own little world doing my taxes, and I haven't been thinking about stock market. So I've been running reruns on the podcast.
Mom's been boosting this Johnson & Johnson thing, talking it up a whole lot.
I just didn't want you
I
to
should get in on this.
Oh my goodness. Well, that was Johnson.
And I didn't
Johnson.
even say anything to you until the end of the week.
You just assumed. But what I don't understand is you texted me, "Did you ever buy it?" ? Which, if you thought I was in it, you wouldn't have said that.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't think you were in it, but I thought there was a good chance you were in it. I just was like, well, she
I was
probably
an
made
idiot.
that.
Why was I? Why?
Like, when I sent you that text, I was really, really hoping you wouldn't send me a no.
No, I just quick bought it.
I was just really.
It was a
dreading
little
it.
late. I was a little late. But
I was really dreading you telling
Okay.
me that you didn't think to buy it.
I didn't think to buy it, Michael. But I learned something very important this last week or two, and that is I left Schwab to go to Robinhood because I was tagged a pattern day trader and I dipped below $25,000. And when that happens, you are not allowed to make a single trade on anything at
Right.
all. So you can't make any money. So how can you ever get above 25,000? So I never wanted that to happen again. So I moved to Robinhood. Except now I want to preserve my status as not a pattern day trader, which means I can only do 3 trades a week and I have to stop.
You can do what I do, which is buy overnight.
Well, I made money and then Thursday, I knew the stock market was going down, so I was looking around for something that would be a good put, which I rarely buy, but I was pretty sure. And I found something. I made a lot of money on it. Do you remember what it was? God, that was 2 days ago. I don't remember that far back.
I don't remember either.
I made a ton of money. Oh, I know what it was. It was one of those hot, high-flying stocks like GameStop or Riot or something,
It was
right?
GameStop, I think.
I think it was GameStop. So I made a bunch of money on it. Momentum trading. You can make momentum trade money on a put if you're early in the momentum and it keeps going.
Right.
So by the end of the day, I'd made I'm not going to say how much. And then I went to sell it and I realized I was up to my limit on day trades. And if I sold it, that would label me as a pattern day trader. And then in the future, if I ever dropped below that dollar amount, I could not trade anymore.
So did you wait till the next day?
So I waited till the next day. The next day, I sold it first thing, but the next day, GameStop went up 56%.
Oh my God.
It opened like up 10 or 15. So I kind of broke even on that, but
Oh no.
it's like, okay, then I realized, all right, I just want to do 3 day trades a week and the rest of the time don't do any. I don't want to buy anything and be in the position where I change my mind and I can't get out.
Right.
So I'm only going to do three trades a week unless something's really rolling and I really decide I want to stay overnight. But I'm good at day trading.
I don't
trying
think
these
I'm
other
good at day
things.
trading. I think I'm better at looking at a stock and going, tomorrow this stock will go up or tomorrow this stock will go down.
That's a great position to be in.
I think that's what I want
would
to
be
work
good.
on, and that's what I want to really focus
That's
on.
the smart thing to work on. I don't know. I skip around, and I don't know if it's because of ADD or because I get bored or because I think the market's changed. But the times that I've made the most money is when I've day traded. So I think I should go back to my roots.
Become day trader Vader.
You know what screwed me up?
Okay, actually, wait, hold on. How much money do you have?
I'm not saying on
Okay, fine. Don't say it. But
It's terrible.
if you get
I'm not
higher
happy.
money, you can go back to Schwab and only day trade on Schwab. And then have
Oh.
Robinhood stay. You're safe for not day trading on here.
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. I could day trade on Schwab, unlimited, if I have
More than the
balance.
amount of money.
And then on Robinhood, that'll be my backstop.
Yeah.
And also, there's things I can buy on Robinhood that I can't buy at Schwab, like Bitcoin,
Yeah.
if I want it. You know, I thought for a while, I toyed with the idea of making money on Bitcoin and just making those little incremental bets, 2%, 2%, 2%. But it wears you out, man. I don't have time for that.
So that's my advice: is just day trade on Schwab. Have one
Yeah.
account be your day trade account, and have the other account be
I have
your
bad news.
fallout.
I have bad news. I don't have enough for that right now.
Well, that's fine.
Don't tell them.
I'll bleep it out.
No, but I'm editing this. You forgot which one you're doing. He's got a podcast we're doing that's playing games, making mom play.
Don't pull back the curtain on this.
And I'm doing one with Gaby. Tea time. Okay, so I think one of the things that screwed me up was the machine. I created this thing where you could make these spreadsheets, and I got the feeling it worked so well. It really does show you these huge trends. And I think it's accurate. But we had a rough couple weeks where we were at the bottom, and it's unclear. Like, typically what I should have said is when it's in this zone, I just don't trade. It's really hard for me not to trade for 2 weeks. But it's in this zone where it's changing, it's dipping, and you don't know if it's at the bottom, if it's going to go down more, if it's going to start up. It's hard to interpret. Okay, so here's Riot. This chart is very helpful not to print and look at the printed version. I print it for my followers, and it's kind of not so easy to figure out because you kind of have to hover over the points and see the values. So this was on Wednesday. There's a big drop off on the regular chart, the actual, what I call it, the actual. That's pretty inconclusive. That's kind of like, okay, it pretty much looks like it's going down, but it could bounce. So there's these two interpretations you could make. One is, what direction is it going? And one is the range it's in. Is it at the bottom of its range? Remember you said that about Corsair. And I think that's what screwed me up. Like here, it's almost at the bottom of the range from the 5 to 20. It almost looks like it's starting to curve up, you know?
I've started to lose a little bit of faith in the machine. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it's interpretation.
Yeah, but if it's interpretation, then if the stock goes up or down, you can just say you misinterpreted it.
Right, which I did. So that brings up a point I have. Okay, so I think it's very helpful. That chart is very helpful. The problem is when you look at something and you're expecting something, you look for that thing.
Yeah.
And that was happening to me a lot. Jim Cramer, all last week, he keeps saying, basically, the shit's going to hit the fan. When you're in the stages of grief, it's like the stages of a crash in the market. And he says, first there's denial, bargaining, we're in the depression stage now. He keeps saying this stuff, and I keep thinking, okay, we haven't reached the whole acceptance phase, which is where the big capitulation is, where there's the big movement down, high volume.
Right.
On those charts, I actually saw that in one of the stocks. It was MP. It was material something or other. I forgot what that MP stands for, but they do materials for electric vehicles. They do like energy for electric vehicles and rare earths and things like that. Mm-hmm. And Kramer had said it was a good company, and it was down at the bottom of its range, and it was starting to curve up. And 2 days earlier, there had been this huge spike in volume, and now it was starting to curve up, and the volume was low. I did this on Wednesday, this MP. So look at this 5 to 20. You see how there's a big spike up right there? Like 4 days before the end of the chart?
Yeah. And
also the price on this 5 to 20, it curved down, and now it's flattening down here at the bottom. You see that last little dot?
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's this range of how low that ever goes on the 5 to 20. Only gets down 10%, and then it's never gone below that, except this one time it touched that line. So that's really low for it. So it's got to swing back. I think that's a useful way to look at it. Like here it dipped down to negative 5%. This is, can you see what number that's at? What point that is? That's about 140 or something?
142.
And then look what happened. There was like a big up day and several up days right after it got to this low level. So there's the range it's in. This is what woke me up. It's in a range. And meanwhile, Kramer's doomsdaying out there, right? So this was Wednesday night. so I thought, this one looks like it might go up. So I used this, and this is the one I made the money on Thursday. I just remembered I bought this. I bought a call on this. In addition to the put I bought on that other thing, I thought the whole market was going down, but for some reason I thought this was going up.
Okay.
So I made a bunch of money on this. And then I thought, I'm going to do the thing where I only day trade. And I bought the call that morning and I sold it and I made my big chunk of money. And then immediately started going down. As soon as it hit a percentage, usually 20% up on a 1 month call is like all I'm going to get for a day trade. And I thought, this is big. I'm taking it. And it started going down. And then the whole market went down. And then I thought of making money off the put. And that's when I bought the put. And I made all that money on GameStop going way down. And then all of a sudden, it was the end of the day. And I had already done a day trade with MP. And I had used up all my day trades. That's why I got stuck.
Right.
So looking at this chart, do you see there are ways to predict things, but I have to put into words for people because I kept like putting these charts up on my website and saying, oh, see what I see? This is going to go up. And like sometimes it was easy. You looked and it was easy, right?
Right.
But now we're at a difficult time where it's kind of fluctuating. And I feel like we need to put into words what it is that's happening. So I feel like this worked. This 5 to 20, it got down 10% below average. It's just, I have this image of an oscillator and the stock is going up, down, and it's gradually working its way up, going up, down along a line that's going upward. And then on that up, down, the 20-day average going up and down, there's a smaller up and down going on top of that makes it look sort of like a jiggly line going up and down. And that's my image that's why I came up with this. So I feel like this 5 to 20 is comparing the 5-day moving average to the 20-day moving average. And along the 20-day moving average swinging, this is zigzagging along it. And that's why I really thought it was going to go up. And I'm really glad I sold because after I sold, it went back down to negative.
Oh, no.
So I think that's useful, but I think we have to like refine it.
Right.
So I'm going to show that. On this podcast, I'll show an image on the YouTube version, and I'll circle that area. So I know you're losing faith in it. I screwed it up last week because I just was like, I think it's going down because Kramer says it's going down, you know?
Right.
Do you think it's useful?
I
Did
think
I
it's
convince
useful.
you?
I think it's a useful tool for telling what direction the stock is currently going. I don't know if it's as useful for predicting the future.
I think the predicting the future part is based on us, like our experience, our knowledge, and factors like that.
It's just a different way of looking at the stock.
I think it is definitely a different way of looking, but I need to get better about being consistent about not listening to what those guys are saying on CNBC and just like really looking. I do feel like charts do predict what's going to happen because I saw before I was really good at reading them and I've been distracted with my other stuff and I haven't really been looking that carefully. I'm kind of out of touch and I spent that period out of touch. I think if I focus, I think I can interpret them.
I mean, hell, the last time I listened to the news, I lost all my money on Nokia. So maybe it's better if I keep trading in the dark.
Well, I don't know. There was a period of time where I was just listening to news all the time, and that was also helpful.
Right. Okay.
So when you listen to the news, just don't get swept up by what they're saying. They're trying to manipulate it, usually the opposite way it's going.
Right.
Oh, I really wanted to talk about something about the future. Can I really quick?
Okay.
Okay. The future. Back in 2015-16, and before, I was into this thing called the simplicity movement. That's why I started TeslaChick. I sell waterless car wash because it's a simple way to live, right? It's like Tesla.
Yes. Washing your car, just like...
No, you save money and it's cheap, and I just sell it for my friends. I don't really like run it as a business.
What's that group of people who just live without technology?
Amish?
Yes. Oh, yes, waterless car wash, just like the Amish live.
Okay, I started that because Tesla is like this. There's two ways to run a company, and we are unsustainable the way that companies used to run before the the plague. Companies run mostly on waste, mostly on needing to replace their products. The subscription model is the way they're making big money by forcing people to sign up to get the discount, and then they forget, and then they get more product than they need. Apple products, I feel like they're guilty of this. They are designed to fail. You get these electrical cords. How many decades have these electrical cords always had to be replaced because they're so weak in these joints where they plug into the computer? They could have fixed that years ago. They don't, because they sell money. They make money off of selling more stuff. Everything, all this consumerism, they've mastered the art of making money by making disposable convenient, but disposable. And it's not good for the environment. It's not good for humanity. It's not good for my wallet, you know? And then Tesla comes along and they make a car that you don't need to throw away after 5 years, you know?
Right.
And people love that, you know, to plug my waterless car wash.
Well, I mean, you say that, but
you keep
still
interrupting me. Okay, go ahead.
You say it's not disposable, but you still traded yours in for a Model X less than 5 years after getting it.
That's true. But this one has... Okay, I tried to trade... Okay, yeah, you're right. But my other car was still valuable and was sold to somebody, and it's not going in a ditch.
That's true.
So the reason I bring up simplicity is we've been through this pandemic, and now people have stayed home and they've realized, oh, I don't need to wear a bunch of makeup. Oh, I like wearing sweat clothes. Oh, I don't have to run to the restaurant every day. And I feel there's a major shift in the way people have lived. They might want to get out after the pandemic, but I think there's a lot of stuff they're going to want to minimize and not be as wasteful on. They're also tight with their money. So I feel like a major trend has happened that's really good for the environment. I think there's going to be a lot of reuse of things and a lot less going out and spending on a lot of weight. Maybe I'm full of shit, you know?
I think you have a point. I think you're right that the pandemic has left a mark on how people perceive things, possibly forever.
I mean, they could go out crazy shopping again, but they know that they don't have to. I feel like they're wiser, and I hope that more companies will follow like the other model, like Tesla, you know?
I can't wait for my kids to ask me about the pandemic, like how kids today ask their grandparents about the Great Depression.
Oh my God. Can I tell you something? I am a fucking boomer, right? So
right.
Would you stop leaving the frame? Come back here.
The frame is a boundary and I exist to cross
Michael, your grandmother lived through the Depression, tried to tell me multiple times about the Depression. I never asked her about the Depression. My grandmother lived through the great influenza of 1912. I never asked her about that. Never. You know what I asked her? Grandma, why do you wash the money and hang it on the clothesline? Grandma, why do you wear gloves everywhere you go? Grandma, why do you carry a Kleenex to open doorknobs with? I'd ask her that, but I never knew. I never knew why until this year. Are you trying to hide?
Grandpa, why do you wear a mask everywhere you go?
So anyway, I'm happy for the future in a way because I feel like people got a little more wise, but they're probably just going to go back to their old wasteful ways because they're people.
I don't know. Masks have kind of become a fashion statement now.
Okay, but in the stock market, I feel like there's major shifts long term that are going to happen with different companies.
Right.
Mostly companies that are going to disappear because they're wasteful and people will not need them as much. I don't know. Also, here's a problem. We have 1 million baggies and paper goods, and there's a lot more waste actually during the pandemic with straws and disposable cartons that food's coming, you know. I mean, I don't know. Don't you have any wise words for the future?
Mirai. It means future in Japanese.
Mirai.
There's the text in hiragana. Adam Ragusa is a good YouTuber who I think is very in line with the times.
Because he's cooking.
He's cooking, and he's cooking food that's easy to cook and isn't wasteful.
Okay, so by Google, because that's YouTube?
No. One YouTuber... YouTube isn't even turning a profit for Google.
They're not?
It is currently unknown whether or not YouTube can turn a profit.
Whether it can?
Yeah.
What about all the ads?
Well...
They must be returning a profit. What do you mean?
Think about all the space that has to save all those videos.
Yeah.
And how many videos just go unwatched.
I've been thinking that. And are they eventually going to kick us off, us poor performers? I have stuff on there that nobody ever watches.
Lots of people do.
I put it on there for myself.
Most videos on YouTube have 0 views and likely never will.
Well, 0?
Not 0, but like 1 to 10.
Okay, so if that's the case, they're going to either have to kick these people off or they're just going to keep losing money as it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Because if everybody uploads, you know what, it's just going to grow exponentially that everyone's going to have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Oh, that's a huge problem. Oh, I'm grateful to you. Just want to say, you said about Riot, which is the Bitcoin miner, you didn't understand about how they were going to make money because it was just going to get harder and harder to mine Bitcoin and everything.
I didn't say I didn't know how they were going to make money. How they're making money is easy for anyone to see.
I don't think they're making
The problem
money.
is how they can possibly grow as a company when Bitcoin, as like by definition, is going to get less profitable to mine as time goes on, almost exponentially so.
I read an article about that, and you have a point. I read it like 2 weeks ago, but I get it now. I didn't get it last time we did a podcast together, and I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go because I have this most adorable cat that's come and made herself.
Did I say that on the podcast about how?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago you said this is very distracting. She's so adorable. She's just looking up at me.
Does she show up on camera?
Yeah, barely. You're so cute. Okay. Well, let's say goodbye.
All right. No, nothing to end on here. I don't have anything really to say.
We're busy. We got to pet this cat.
I was right about Bitcoin.
What did you say about Bitcoin?
I mean, about Riot.
Yeah, I think you were right. It goes up, it goes down. It's a popular stock, and
company can't really grow. I don't think.
I don't think it matters because people just gamble on it. It's just a gambling stock.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.